Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to present this extended abstract written by me, Anita Priantina, and also my supervisor, Dr. Safiza Muhammad Sapian. And this abstract is prepared for Seminar Antarabangsa Islam dan Sains 2022, and the title is Halal Governance in Indonesia. So this is the abstract to give the summary of what this paper or the study is going to do. So it started with the background that although Indonesia is the country with the largest Muslim populations in the world, the halal industry still faces several risks related to Sharia compliance. The risks includes non-Sharia compliance slaughter, contaminations with non-halal compliant substances, halal traceability, and fake halal logo. Following the enactment of Halal Assurance Law number 33 of 2014, halal certifications has now become mandatory in Indonesia. Before, halal certificate was voluntary. The objective of the study is to discuss on the development of halal governance in Indonesia. Halal Act, related regulations, and decrees from ministries related to halal assurance and food security will also be elaborated. In summary, the changes in halal governance in Indonesia from time to time is to support the halal assurance in the country. Therefore, it has to include all producers, including small and micro businesses. So this is the background of the study. It started with the fact that in Indonesia, halal certificate was initiated around 1992. The first legality was developed by Institute for the Assessment of Food, Drugs, and Cosmetics, or Lembaga Pengkajian Pangan, Obat-obatan dan Kosmetika, or LPPOM, and legalized by the MUI, or Majelis Ulama Indonesia, or Indonesia Ulama Council. And then Law of Republic Indonesia number 33, year 2014, concerning halal product assurance requires that by 2019, halal certifications must have been carried out for food and beverage products, as well as service products in Indonesia. And also by this law, there is now changes as before, halal certifications authority in Indonesia was under Majelis Ulama Indonesia or MUI only. Now, up to 2017, BPJPH or Badan Penyelenggara Jaminan Produk Halal under Ministry of Religious Affairs is now the new authority. This is the objective of the study. The study aims to discuss on the development of halal governance in Indonesia. And this is important to understand the stages on how halal, which was voluntary, has now become mandatory in Indonesia. This is the steps, or after this, I will explain on what are the rules, the laws, and the ministry's regulations, or the instructions from the presidents, which contains a halal label in Indonesia, which then becomes the halal governance for Indonesia case. Initially, food labeling in Indonesia was given to food containing pork. In 1976, decree of the Minister of Health, Republic of Indonesia, concerning provisions for circulations and marking on foods containing ingredients derived from pork was issued, or simply before the label was given to haram food or food with pork. Then in 1985, the government issues a joint decree of the Minister of Health and the Minister of Religious Affairs, and the content is including the inclusions on halal label on food. To facilitate about this, then there was this authority or halal authority, and also halal auditing body was then established, named as LPPOM MUI, which was founded in 1989 as the institutions who was solely responsible for halal certifications. In 1991, presidential instructions, or in bahasa is instruksi presiden or impres, regarding improvement of coaching and productions and circulation supervisions on processed food through impres was then published in June. And among the content of these instructions is that in order to protect the society from food products and distributions that are not met the requirements, especially in terms of quality, health, safety, and religious beliefs, then regulations related to food in Indonesia is then being detailed. So this is also one of the first instructions from the president, which concerns on halal. Then in 1996, decree of the Minister of Health of the Republic Indonesia was issued, and there was halal terms on food labeling. And in the same year, in 1996, there was also laws of Republic Indonesia issued about food. And this law states on Article 30 that everyone who produce or imports packaged foods for trading into the territory of Indonesia must include a label on, in, or in food packaging which contains at least information regarding production name, list of materials used, net weight or net contents, name and address of the party producing or importing food into within the territory of Indonesia, and informations about halal. So this could be considered as the first law which contains and which imposes regulations or conditions that food which is distributed in Indonesia should contains information, including informations about the halal status. And then in 1999, Government Regulations number 69 concerning food labels and advertising regulations was also issued. And among the other points, Article 10, paragraph 1 states that everyone who produce or import food that is packaged into Indonesian territory to be traded and declare that the food is halal for Muslim is responsible on the truth of the statement and is obliged to include halal information written in the form of labels. Then in 2012, there was law number 18 concerning food was then issued, and halal was also mentioned on Article 69 related to food security. And there are also some arrangements for commodities whose halal product guarantee are required. And there's also related points on food advertisement specifies that halal requirement on commodities whose halal product guarantee are required. Among those are meats, imported chickens, and all kinds of animals which are lizatihi halal. There should be status or there should be label or a halal label in that. And then finally in 2014, the first dedicated law for halal, law number 33, year 2014 on halal assurance was then issued. This law consists of comprehensive 14 chapters and 68 articles. It covers general provisions, halal product assurance provider, halal ingredients and productions process, halal producers, procedures to apply for halal certificate, and then international partnership, especially to acknowledge a halal label for the other country, and then halal supervisions, and then public rule, lawsuit provisions. This started to mention punishment if there is producers who do not apply or who is already halal certified, but then it was proven to be fake, or they actually trespass the label that they have already put on their products. And then transitional terms and closing. And then in 2020, there was also the Omnibus Law number 11, year 2020 on job creations. And there was amendments, there are 24 amendments related to previous halal assurance law. And among the changes range from technical up to substantial aspects. The main objective of this law is to facilitate easy access and higher number of job creations, and also among others is a shorter certifications process, because they want to increase the number of certifications in Indonesia, because halal certifications is now mandatory. So of course the halal label, the halal certifications should increase, and in order to facilitate that, a shorter period for halal certifications is needed. And among the substantial change resulted by this law is related to the role of MUI, which was the only halal authority in Indonesia. Now the role of MUI is related to the fatwa issuance only. And then there was also latest government regulations in 2021, number 39, issued concerning the implementations of halal product guarantee. And of course, this is very much detailed. It consists of 15 chapters. And these chapters or these government regulations also regulates on halal self-declare by small and micro businesses. So since halal certifications is now mandatory, small and micro businesses are also inclusive to this law, they are also obliged to apply for and to have a halal certificate for their product. And in order to economize things and to give them cheaper halal certificate, halal self-declare procedure was then started to be introduced to the public with shorter procedures, simpler procedures, and also cheaper price or cheaper cost. And then the details or these government regulations also set some targets. Previously, the law was issued in 2014 related to mandatory halal certificate. But then because we had transitions from MUI to BPJPH, this government regulations then finally starts to detail the time frames, and the first target in 2024, 17 October, is that the halal certificate to be implemented for all food, drink, slaughtered products, and slaughtered services. And the others which are categorized as traditional medicine, cosmetics, clothing, household health supplies, and medical devices are targeted to be fully halal certified in 2026. And then other products as categorized over-the-counter drugs and limited over-the-counter drugs and medical devices with higher risk. The risk mentioned here is halal compliance risk is targeted to be fully halal certified in 2029, and the rest is targeted to be fully halal certified in 2034. So, and I also did some word cloud from all regulations, law, ministries regulations, and also government regulations, and also the instructions from the president. From all that, these are the result of the word cloud. Of course, the biggest or the most mentioned word is halal. Indonesia, pemerintah or the governance as the authority for this case, and of course the peraturan or regulations. There's also still mentioning MUI, even though now it is not the only sole halal authority. And others is kecil, or it relates to usaha kecil or small business, as it is also included on the halal certificate or the mandatory halal certificate. So small and micro business is also included. It is not excluded as object or as the producers who have to also apply for halal certifications. So this is the conclusions of this extended abstract. If previously halal certifications was voluntary in Indonesia, after Halal Act 2014, halal certifications or halal assurance now become mandatory. In changes, the evolutions or the regulation related to food and to halal label in Indonesia from time to time until the latest was issued in 2021, the government regulations. The objective of the change, among others, the main objective is to support the halal assurance in the country. And the meaning of that is to also include the small and micro business in Indonesia. That's all from me. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.